Hey guys. Just kidding, we're not that high energy. Radical Race Podcast number 2. We got Marcus.
What's your last name, Marcus?
Corbett.
Corbett.
That's right.
Sometimes I say Corvette.
Hey,
Because he's the fastest
Because he's
man.
the fastest man alive.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but
Alright, Marcus. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're going to school right now.
yeah, at BYU going to school, studying accounting, trying to just keep it as boring as possible.
That's good.
Yeah,
If you keep it boring in your career, then it can be more exciting outside.
In the future.
that's the plan. That's the
Yeah.
hope. Yeah, so I'll graduate in April.
Plans after that?
It's kind of open right now. Potentially law school, potentially work in the field, stay-at-home dad, whatever.
When
Nice.
you said work in the field, I just imagined you as a farmer. Just out
Dude,
in the field.
I kind of just want to move to Montana, and
That's also
Okay.
an option.
yeah.
That's your plan.
Well,
do
you
some
grew up on a
Montana
farm,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, a grass seed farm.
This is good for the history of because I feel like Marcus
Yeah.
is a endurance athlete. If you didn't already guess that or know,
Right.
but yeah. So tell us about the grass seed farm.
Yeah, so the grass seed farm, I guess I'm kind of selling myself a little bit on that. I grew up, my parents owned about 40 acres in the Willamette Valley in Oregon, which is kind of like the grass seed capital of the world. For the World Cup, they'll ship out grass seed from our area.
Wait, sorry,
That's
pause real
crazy.
fast. What's the World Cup?
Soccer.
Oh, okay.
Like the big soccer.
For some reason, I was envisioning like a World Cup of grass seed.
Grass seed.
And I was like,
That's what I
what?
thought for a second
I've
too.
never
but
heard of that.
Then
But
I picked up.
No, I mean, that would be beautiful.
Oregon
I
would
think
win.
Oregon.
would win.
But yeah, so my parents they own the land and they kind of rent it out. They lease it out to farmers that farm a lot of the fields in that area. And so we didn't do a whole lot of the labor on our fields, but growing up my summer job would be in a grass seed warehouse. At the beginning of the summer, we'd walk the fields and pull weeds. So I was just walking around a field all day with a bunch of random guys and, guys you'd never meet otherwise, which was cool to
Yeah.
meet those people. But, and then the rest of the summer was in a warehouse filling bags of grass seed. And then stacking them on pallets, so just moving 50-pound bags of seed all day.
That's why you're so tough.
That's why that honestly, I think there's a little bit of grass seed still in me somewhere. So, yeah, I'm about 10% grass seed right now.
Stuck in the socks
Also-
as well.
Yeah.
Dang.
So do you feel like that impacted your interest in running and other stuff? Because how early did you start running?
I think I was I think I started track in second grade. My dad, I think what really got me into running was my dad. He was a 2-time state champion in cross country in the
dang.
state of Idaho. And he didn't really do anything with running after high school. He was pretty focused on PT school and wanting to have a career so that he could provide for my family, which I respect a lot and I'm really grateful for.
Yeah.
Because I know he could have run in college or he could have done amazing things. So my dad was kind of my primary inspiration for running. Living in Oregon was a benefit because it's all over the place in Oregon.
Yeah, running. It's I don't want to say it's the running capital, but I feel
Well,
like
you got Nike there, and then
Yeah.
they hold a huge cross country meet
Yeah.
in Oregon, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they do the national high school cross country meet,
Right.
the Nike Cross National,
The
and then
Prefontaine thing.
yeah, Hayward Field is the Oregon track,
Right.
University of Oregon track, and that's Tracktown USA or whatnot.
So
So
That's sweet.
there's a history of
it's
running.
it's definitely a culture there and just kind of the organic hippie runner vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So what would you say was your first endurance event
Mhm.
maybe unlock that side of your brain that said, "Wow, I could do stuff like this."
Yeah,
Or,
I was trying to
pushing
think.
your limits, or
I think in second grade track,
second grade.
like they basically were trying to figure out which kids were gonna be the sprinters, which kids were gonna like be the distance
Distance.
runners, and
Yeah.
like the distance running was like, I think the max was a 400 meter, was like the longest distance.
Pretty far.
right?
Yeah. No.
Which for
It's
a
far for
second
me.
grader,
That's like
it's like pretty decent.
it's like a
And-
mile.
Yeah, and so like they're just like, okay, everybody like run as fast as you can this 50 meters. Okay, now everybody just like run as far as you can, like as
Oh.
long as you can. And like I just started running with everybody, and I'm like, like I think I could go a ways. Like my
Yeah.
dad talks about running every once in a while, and I just didn't really stop. And I think like half
I'm
the
imagining
kids,
Forrest Gump.
I'm just like going in circles around the track, and I don't know how many laps I did, but
Yeah.
I was the last one running. Like 75% of the kids were gone by the time like their parents had already come and picked them up.
Oh,
and,
dang.
and I was just kept pushing myself. I wasn't comfortable. My form was terrible. Like I used to run with my head back,
Oh,
like
dang.
just begging God for air,
Just
Breaching.
just wanting to like see what my limits were, and just like pushing myself to
Yeah.
capacity. And I think wanting to stand out for something,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
if that's something that I could do, like, sweet.
So be it.
Yeah.
That's crazy that it like goes all the way back to second grade. At least that's kind of the first experience that you can think of. And then high school, did you run track, cross country, or?
Yep, high school, all 4 years, track and cross country, and then I think middle school as well. Yeah, I started cross country in sixth grade, sixth grade, and track in second. But yeah,
Did you ever want to do like college running or anything like that?
yeah, I kind of flirted with it a little bit. I did go and serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and a lot of schools aren't super cool with you
Right.
just like leaving, and like not really wanting to commit to you, and then you come back and you're not in great shape because you haven't been exercising a ton
Right.
in that way while you're gone for 2 years. And like they weren't big schools like recruiting me really, so a lot of them were like kind of smaller schools, and they said like chat with us when you get home from your mission. But I was pretty set on going to BYU just for academics and the environment.
Yeah.
And BYU's cross country team is insane,
It's
and
really good.
Top
like
notch.
like they won the national title a year ago, and
They all have a good mustache game too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to the coach, and they're like, "Can you grow a mustache?" I said, "No." I said, "You got no
Sorry,
shot."
man.
Honestly, I was a little bit disappointed when you came in, and I was noticing Chris has a mustache, even though people might not be able to see it on camera.
Yeah, it's
I have a mustache, but you don't have a mustache, man. It's November.
I got no mustache. Yeah, I can't grow facial hair. I'm sorry.
It keeps you more
fellas.
aerodynamic.
Yeah,
I'm in it for the speed. You
that's
guys
the
know
secret,
that.
man. That's the secret to your success.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I do need to know now. So you get back from your mission. When did you start doing marathons?
So I actually started marathons in high school.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Oh wow.
I started my junior year of high school right after track season.
Okay.
I told my dad, like, in the winter, before track season, I'm like, "Dad, you gotta run a marathon before you get too old. Like, come on now." And
Calling them out.
he's like, he hadn't really been training seriously, since
Yeah.
high school-ish.
How old was he?
45.
Wow.
45.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's like, "Well, I'll do it if you do it." I'm like, "Shoot,
All right.
okay, I'll do it."
Yeah.
At that point, I'd never run more than 12 miles.
Okay.
And up to the marathon, I had never run more than 12 miles. But it was a week after the state track meet, and I just went for it and had no idea what I was going to do or if I was going to finish or whatnot. And I ended up running a 2:49.
Holy crap.
And
In
Are
high
you
school?
serious?
Yeah.
Dang.
You're just like,
Yeah.
I'm going to run a marathon, I think.
2:49.
And- Jeez, man.
Ran a 2:49.
Woo.
And I was like, wow, like,
I'm pretty
that
good.
sucked, but you know, I finished and
Yeah.
it was like a pretty solid time, and
Yeah.
I was 17.
Dang.
Went and ran another one the next year, a week after state, and ran a 2:45, and then went on the mission. Came back, kind of wanted to get back into it. It was tough. Like, I had a bunch of injuries trying to go too fast, too far, too
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
I ended up running the Salt Lake Marathon in a 2:47, and
Dang.
just kind of like was kind of still in that ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, and how long ago was that you got back and you started running again?
That was I ran the Salt Lake Marathon in April of 2019.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it was fairly recently.
Yeah. 2019.
2 years.
So was that the same year, or was it the year after that you came and ran the not
Near
your
death.
grandma's, or
Near
yeah,
death.
sorry,
The
near
near
death
death.
race?
That
So,
was
Side note.
yeah.
That's how we met Marcus. He came to our first event, the near death race. How did you find out about it?
Yeah, I want to hear
Yes.
this story.
Okay. I think I saw an ad on Facebook, or maybe it might have been Instagram, one of those two.
Did you like the ad?
I thought it was hilarious.
Oh, I'm
good,
glad.
good.
That makes
Yeah.
me feel better.
You have Adam there just with like this big old mop of a hairdo with a super deep voice.
Marcus already has a naturally deep voice.
I know, I was just pretending to have a deep voice.
Yeah.
and then you just have Chris mobbing around with his sandbag, and then I think like you hit Adam with the sandbag or something, and so I was like, oh, that's kind of funny, but like sounds pretty crazy. And at that point, I hadn't been running for like 6 months.
Okay.
I was kind of focusing on lifting some weights and building overall body strength.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was cool. And then I saw a flyer at the gym that I go to. I'm like, maybe I should look into this a little bit more. And then it was like the last day to sign up. I was still like on the fence about it. I'm like, oh, I could win $1,000, and like, who else is crazy enough to sign up for this thing?
Honestly, there were
Right.
only 20
know.
people who came to that first one.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's insane. Like, it's a crazy thing you're asking people to do, but I think it's awesome, and I think, you know, we have a lot of crazy people in this world that love that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
yeah, especially in Utah.
I think that's pretty cool. That's kind of what got me. I ended up getting second, which kind of stung a little bit.
Oof.
Yeah, you were close. It was 12 seconds, I think, right?
It's 12 seconds.
It's a tough race though, because I mean you weren't really paired with the fast guys.
Right.
Everyone was really separated. So.
Yeah, and
It'd
I think I gave it my all. I mean, you guys saw.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You were
dude.
heaving and
Yeah.
hacking some chunks.
Marcus comes back. Hugging chunks? That's disgusting.
That's
Marcus
insane
comes
sometimes.
back. He's sprinting. And then, like, 3 seconds later, he's like, I gotta go. And he's off the field just, like, dry heaving.
We've
And
got
we-
a solid picture of it.
But it was great because Chris just looked at me at that point and he was like, yes. He's like, I made something so hard that somebody's puking.
I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
But no, like you still have the top third time
Top 3, man.
yeah,
Top 3.
Yeah, you still hold it.
out of all the
I'm
years.
coming for number 1.
Hey,
No,
yeah.
I believe it.
Gotta
I
make
believe
my
it.
money back.
You can make it. you still got 9 more tries before.
Yeah.
I got that gambling addiction.
Oh no.
That's right.
We don't
You
want
know,
that part. But
Best thing to bet on is yourself. So
That's right.
That's true. Oh,
So
shit.
it
Did
was. I
stop?
think it's still going. I'm guessing.
Oh no, it didn't.
Oh,
Oh, that's not good.
that's right. I mean, it was going before, right? This is fun.
But it's not saved.
Oh, it's not saved? That's okay. I mean, we still have this.
Oh, the audio's picking up.
Yeah, so
Oh,
audio's
perfect.
picking up.
Sorry, malfunction people.
It
Dang,
happens.
This is our second podcast, so we're still learning. Although I do think we upped the game. We have a little
We got
little
a plan.
fern in the background.
Ain't that the truth? I wonder if I just ran out of memory.
Oh no, maybe.
Anyways, okay, and then after that, you ran a 2:35 marathon.
Yeah,
Just because.
just because.
Because he was
no,
mad. No, I was just kidding.
kinda, honestly.
But no, you want to
Yeah.
like get into actual marathon training, and
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of your goal right now, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of in a phase right now. But yeah, that is the ultimate goal, and I am signed up to run the Boston Marathon in April. So
Wow.
that's like the next thing, big thing.
Have
Yeah.
you qualified every marathon that you've done? Has that been qualifying for the Boston? I mean,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
it has every
Yeah.
time that you've had.
Because it's below 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
To qualify.
Well, I
yeah.
mean, it depends on the age, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, so marathon, like after the near death race, that was in October,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think. And then like I just kind of kept weight training through the end of the year, and then I kind of set this goal to go qualify for the Olympic trials in the marathon.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I think it's like a cool, worthwhile thing to like pursue.
What's that process? How do you qualify for?
So you need to
Olympic
run
trials.
a sub. Well, it depends. They haven't released the
New criteria.
the new standard. It's
Okay.
a time that you need to run under
oh, okay.
for 2024. But the last couple of Olympics, it's for men. It's been a 2:19, a sub 2:19 marathon on a qualifying course.
Okay.
And the qualifying course standards are even more like
Stringent.
stringent than Boston.
Like more difficult.
Because it can't have more than 3 meters of drop every kilometer.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wow.
Or maybe it's feet of drop. One of those
But
two.
it's got some rules about how much decline
Yeah.
you can have.
Whereas for Boston, I think mainly they just want to know that it has that distance, the 26.2.
Right.
You know?
Mm.
And so, yeah, like my mindset is I need to run a sub 2:19 marathon on a qualifying course.
Right.
So yeah, I started training kind of at the beginning of the year, but like school kind of got in the way, and I ended up looking back and I was running about 20 miles a week training for that. And went and just like decided I was gonna try and be tough and like don't let any excuses get in the way, and like just give it my all. And it was cool. It was kind of like a hometown course because I've been in Provo the last 3 years, and I ran the Utah Valley Marathon, and my family like came out. My mom and dad came out, and that was super nice to have them cheering along the way. And I went out and
Smoked it.
yeah, I mean, I got this gnarly blister, and I had to stop twice
Oh damn.
to first take my sock off because I wore a hole in my sock, which was causing the blister.
Oh dang! What?
Wow.
So you stopped and you took your sock off, and you
Mhm.
still
Still
got
got a 2:35.
2:35?
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I stopped twice.
Dang.
The first time was to pull the sock off, and then I ran without a sock for a couple miles, and I realized that wasn't helping either.
this
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
not a good idea.
And so then I stopped again, and thankfully I was wearing a calf sleeve, and I pulled it down
Over your foot.
to use as a sock.
Ingenuitive.
Yes,
That's
Dang.
clever.
Way to use your
And-
brain even while
I know.
strenuous
Like,
exercise.
no
He's
oxygen
smart.
in there.
He's fast.
He's
What can't
strong,
that do?
He's tough.
No,
That's sweet, dude.
That's
But-
nuts.
And that was this year.
that was this year.
Okay.
This year.
And then, yeah, so I was feeling super good about myself. Then I like put a really hard summer of training in, and signed up for 2 marathons in the span of 3 weeks at the beginning of the school year. So one in September and one in October. And kind of didn't know what I was getting into with the big Cottonwood Marathon, because you drop 5,000 feet in the first 18 miles. And I thought I did enough hill training, but it really destroyed my calves.
Really?
In that race. And like, I broke my 5K record PR. I broke my half marathon. I ran a 1:12 half marathon in the first half. Like, I was flying.
Yeah.
I was leading the pack by like 5 minutes.
Holy cow.
And then I fell apart hard at mile 20 and ended up running 2:42 and
Shameful.
coming in.
That's a shameful
it was
time.
a shame.
I would be so stoked if I could run a 2:42. No, but yeah, I totally understand. If
It
you're
was
used to
just like-
2:35.
Yeah.
Because I was like gunning for a 2:25. I really wanted.
Yeah.
I really
Is this working?
believed.
No, I think it's.
I really believed I could run a
space.
2:25. Do you want to record it on mine?
Yeah, we can toss mine up there
Yeah.
too.
It might just be the space because the video's going too long. But a 2:42
in September.
in September, and then October,
I ran a 2:40 in St. George.
St. George.
And I think it was good. Like, I learned a lot
Right.
running 2 back to back, but I probably wouldn't do it again, especially if I'm gunning for like fast times.
Yeah.
Because you need. I feel
more
like there's
recovery. And,
a certain amount of recovery required.
Yeah. And we just biked that segment of the St. George Marathon, and
Which
I
is a
didn't
gnarly
realize
climb.
how much climb was in that.
It's a ton.
yeah.
It's a lot.
Several
I mean, you
miles.
drop a lot, but
Yeah.
it was like a lot of climb.
Yeah.
Like that gradual climb there
I can't
after
believe
the
they
big
started
hill.
like that.
Well, you start 7
So,
miles out of
That's
Vail.
right. Okay.
But even coming into Vail, I didn't recognize that was the course. I was like, this must be a different like lead in,
Right.
because it was a lot of like rolling hills.
Huh.
Those 7 miles into Vail.
Right.
And I was like, I don't remember this. I remember it being all downhill with all the adrenaline, and you have
Yeah.
a pack of runners, and we were running 5:20s, just clicking along.
It felt like it was all downhill to me.
You were a speedy bullet,
Yeah.
man.
Adam's like.
What was
All
that?
right. So should we get into this story?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's get into the
want to
bike
brag
ride.
about Marcus a little bit.
Yeah.
So Marcus is this endurance athlete. He's become our friend, and we were going on this trip. Some of you know, Chris and I tried to bike from Provo, Utah to St. George, Utah, which is about 300 miles the route we were taking. In the middle of summer, super hot. We both got really dehydrated. I didn't make it. Chris didn't make it, so we wanted a little redemption. This time, Marcus came with us. It's like it's November now, so it's a lot cooler.
Yeah. But up to this point, Marcus had only ridden about 20 miles, right?
Yeah,
On
that was
bike?
my longest
Total.
ride.
Longest ride ever.
Super good runner, but haven't done a lot of biking.
So yeah, we asked Marcus, hey, you want to tag along? And there was a little
I
hesitation
was
at first.
hesitant.
Yeah, no, you were nervous, but
I was.
But
Honestly-
the tough side came out, and you said, let's do this.
It was a beautiful moment, the commitment moment.
was it actually?
Yeah.
You were like,
It felt like I was on the marathon like sign up page. They're like,
Oh,
all right,
you
you
have
need
to
to
click.
pay $140 to run 26, like kill yourself 26.2.
Done.
Do it, yeah. No, that's how it felt, but like
Yeah.
it always feels good to commit, and yeah.
Definitely.
yeah. So
Yeah.
some preparation going into it in terms of like the logistics, figuring out food and stuff, but like, was it what you expected? I guess, in regards to,
Give us
The
your
difficulty level?
experience, Yeah.
because you killed it
Yeah.
from my perspective and Chris's, I think.
The
Like,
dude is a
bow down
monster.
to the champion.
Like Vin Diesel,
No.
Fast and Furious,
No,
taking
no.
the family on his back,
No,
just
no.
plowing through these hills
I
with
want
so much wind coming into us, and
Yeah.
he's just gone.
the Radical Races community to know that I would not have made it 40 miles if it weren't for these guys. Like, honestly, it was such a blessing to have, like, your guys' expertise and just, like, knowledge and like, spirit, like, being there and the encouragement. Like, you guys built me up. It felt great. And yeah, like, as far as the expectation,
Appreciate
I was
that,
like,
Marcus. Thank you.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
I mean it. And my expectation was, you know, I think if you give me a weekend, I could ride up and down my street 300 times. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like 300 miles. What's 300 miles? You
Yeah.
know? The first 40 miles were probably the hardest. Was the hardest part for me, just because I've never been on a bicycle.
Mostly like comfortability wise.
Yeah.
Right.
Like your butt started
My
getting
butt.
sore. Hands, maybe.
Yeah, my hands got sore.
Mm-hmm.
My butt was sore. My back.
Oof. Yeah.
So yeah, just like not being used to it and not really knowing how I should be feeling at that point, or like, I also got a little bit sick the day before, and was expecting like that
Still nuts to me.
day. Yeah, but yeah, once I kind of honestly, like, when it really started clicking for me was coming out of that second stop and going up those hills. Like, we kind of bombed it down to those hills and then going up those hills. Like, the mix up of the uphill downhill for me, like, really helped me.
Definitely.
Kind of made it more of a game rather than just like out there.
Well, you get like these mini victories.
Yeah.
Because there's a portion of this ride, it's like 70 plus miles of just straight flat road. That was boring.
Sagebrush.
So boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having those small climbs, it just gives you a next goal to accomplish, and then you enjoy the downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like having that consistently for the 300 miles like would have been a deal breaker, but
Right.
it's definitely nice to have like a small victory or whatnot, and then a little bit of a reward.
Definitely.
That downhill.
But yeah, I think overall, like, it was kind of what I expected, just like a lot of long hours to yourself, but also with like some super cool, fun guys. Like, it was really cool to have the girlfriend there for the last 200 miles.
Yeah, shout out to Ray and Amelia for coming through.
Yeah, the pit crew, they were
pit
excellent.
Crew,
Yeah, honestly, we wouldn't have been able to make it without them too. For something, that's what I'm discovering. As Chris and I and Marcus, as we do these like longer, crazier, like adventures that require multiple days, like, you need a crew if you're gonna, or you need some kind of break or ability to like have your stuff there, like a drop bag or something.
Right.
Because just carrying your stuff, that can be so exhausting. So.
Definitely.
Yeah, and we felt that the first 100 miles, like,
Yeah, because we were carrying all our water and our food.
Yeah.
Stopped for donuts at a
which was, by the way, the best fritter I've ever eaten.
Where can we shout out to them? I don't know if anyone will hear
that.
That
was in
Nephi. There was a grocery store.
I can't remember the name of the place now.
A grocery store in Nephi had excellent donuts.
Delicious.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, but I want to tell a story about Marcus really fast because there was this one section that was incredibly hilly
and windy
and super windy. There was a headwind coming straight at us, and we have this little like formation where we do like one person's in front, and then everybody's kind of drafting off them, and we'll switch it out so people don't get too tired. But we were coming, and they were rolling hills, but they were really big rolling hills. So we were coming down this hill and coming up to what was maybe the biggest single hill in the ride. Strong headwind.
Strong headwind.
And I think I'm
you
cool.
were in front.
Yeah,
right?
I thought I was cool. I was like, okay, we're doing this. I felt like really gnarly, and I'm like pedaling against the wind super hard, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Marcus just zooms past me, and I
think he's probably saying in his head, I'm about to take this one for the team.
Yeah. Marcus sacrifices, turns on the afterburners. I'm just riding on his coattails, barely able to hang on up this hill as he's cruising up this thing. It was legendary.
It was
absolutely
amazing to
legendary.
watch.
Thank you guys.
Heroic.
Thank you.
I hope I remember that till the day I die.
I definitely will.
Thank you guys.
Pulling through for the team.
But it was fun.
Yeah, then, I mean, we rolled in around like 6 p.m. that night. And, like, when you finished the 300-mile ride, what was your initial thought or first thought? Or what is... For me, usually there's no thought. I'm just
It was weird. I just, like, reached the bridge. I'm like, I think this is St. George.
Yeah.
I just clipped out of my shoes and put my foot on the ground. I'm like, well,
Well, that was it.
that's it. Yeah.
It almost feels like you're going to ride more,
Yeah.
even though you're done. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've, like, been in endurance events where you see the finish and it becomes a very emotional
Right.
thing, right?
Uh-huh.
And,
Yeah, here there's no crew at the end cheering
Yeah.
on or...
it, like, in a cross-country race, when it's a 3-mile race, and,
Yeah.
you know, when you're a man in good shape, like, that's a pretty fast race.
Yeah, you're
you know?
cruising.
And it becomes a very emotional thing, right? And people are screaming at the end, and, like, you're just putting your whole life and body on the line to, like, finish this thing as fast as possible, and
Totally.
you're collapsing at the finish line and whatnot. But you can't do that in a 300-mile bike ride, because
Yeah.
if you do that emotionally to yourself, like, you're gonna run out of bandwidth.
Yeah.
If you do that to yourself physically, you're gonna burn yourself out in the first, you know, however many miles.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, yeah, you finish, and it's just like, okay, well, I'm done. Like, I'm kind of happy I don't have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, like, I feel good that, like, I finished it. But I think looking back at it, like, now I feel a lot more happiness and joy than I, like, felt in the moment.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of tired and
Right.
hungry.
Tired. I want some food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally feel the same way. But yeah,
Yeah, huge accomplishment though. So
massive.
yeah.
Massive.
Yeah, thanks for putting it in my mind and, like, making it happen and coordinating everything. And, like, it was awesome having the route planned out, and, like, it's cool to watch your guys' video from your first attempt and see, like, what I was in for. And
Yeah.
yeah, just thank you so much for the opportunity to do
Yeah,
that.
man.
No, dude.
Happy
it was
to.
our pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Seriously, you well
I don't think we would have done it without
I don't
Marcus.
think we would have made it, to be honest. I think
time-wise,
having an extra person to be able to lead the pack helped a lot, but
Right.
also just your determination and
just grit.
yeah, man. It, like, helps a lot to have an extra person there, you know, cuz sometimes I'm happy but Chris is, like, bummed, or Chris is, like, stoked to go and I'm like, I'm so tired. And sometimes we're both tired,
Right.
and then having an extra person, like, really helps quite a
That's
bit.
it.
Yeah.
Jump
So
off of-
the power of the group,
The trifecta.
the
The
trifecta,
trifecta.
the peloton,
Yeah.
echelon.
I also want to mention that the reason, like, on that big hill I could put myself out there was because you guys were also pulling a lot of weight on a lot of solid hills. And I did have that mentality, like, it's my turn. Like, I've kind of been sitting in the back for a bit. And, yeah, the reason I could do that was because you guys were
It was
pulling a lot of
Still
weight.
amazing to us.
Yeah, it was
Well,
incredible.
Marcus, you're tough. You the man.
Thank you.
I wish we had money to sponsor you.
I know. I would love to.
Hey.
Maybe one day Radical Races will
We will
sponsor
sponsor
some
Marcus.
athletes.
Yeah.
But
Dude,
one
honor.
question for the future: you got potentially the Olympic trials you're shooting for. Maybe looking at that.
Potentially.
Other stuff in the future. What's the future look like for you and your tough?
Yeah.
self?
I think, like, the Olympic trials, I'm trying to, like, take a little bit of the pressure off myself.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I don't know if I I don't want to live a life where pushing myself every day doesn't bring me any happiness or joy. And I feel like until the moment that I get to the trials and I run, like that I qualify for the trials, right? And I feel like that's almost the direction I'm headed in, where I just live a life of misery and pounding my body, and I don't enjoy it, right?
Right.
But like I think there's a happy medium where you push your body hard to the limits, but you feel accomplishment and success in the effort that you put, rather than like the qualifications you meet or whatnot.
Yeah, it's
So-
more out of like intrinsic
Yeah,
enjoyment, or at least like enjoying the process of building yourself.
yeah, a lot of that intrinsic motivation. So I'm trying to like let my life be led by that intrinsic motivation a little bit more, and like diversify my activity in terms of like, I want to get a little more into biking. I want to be able to swim better. Like I enjoy playing basketball. I want to be stronger and just like a better overall athlete. So I'd love to like try some Spartan stuff. Like I want to do an Ironman Triathlon for sure. I want to give like the marathon its fair shot and fair effort, but maybe just not like psych myself out too much about that.
Not go like all your eggs in that basket.
Yeah, and I don't want to ruin it by like selling out.
Right.
Yeah.
Stuff.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm kind of working on understanding that for myself right now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, keep doing hard things. I think you should do something hard every day. Do hard things every day, you know. Doesn't have to be
Physical. It can be mental, emotionally.
fix a relationship or
Right.
you know, let go of a grudge or something, or read a book. Like, do
Eat
something
a
hard.
Kale salad.
Yeah.
That's hard. It gets so crunchy that it's hard to
Right.
make it through sometimes.
Well, I mean, that's definitely the message we're trying to spread for sure with Radical Races. Just do tough things. Yeah, I mean, obviously our focus is physical, but we hope that translates into other areas of life too. So
I think that's awesome. I'm glad to be a part of it.
I don't know how to close this one.
I was just gonna say, I think we pretty much summed it all up. So, Marcus, thanks for being on the old podcast, Rooney. And
should we get a cinnamon roll up in here?
yeah, let's do this.
Thank you,
What's our cheer that we do at the end of this?
I don't know.
Radical races on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Radical races.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, Marcus.
Thank you.